This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook Live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I am your host, Dan Z. Thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. I hope that everybody had a good Memorial Day and hope that they all remembered the importance and the sacrifice that helps us to have this country that we have. So I'm grateful for that. Hope you had a good time with family and friends. And it's thrilling and wonderful to see all of you here. Hello, Mason. Good to see you, Mace. Hello, Mary. Minta is here. Happy CWK Day to you. We've got Killian here. Hello, Killian. Killian just had a birthday, and Cubs are doing well, buddy. Cubs are doing well. Blake is here. Hello, Blake. Good to see you. Hello, Daniel. I really like your profile picture there. Brian is here. Hello, Brian. Good to have you back on the show. Hello, Amber. Good to have you back as well. And Ben is here too. Ben, good to be back for sure. Jamie, hopefully you heard the latest CWK Pro, because you heard that you are the next person to be a part of the CWK Alliance Spotlight Show. So be checking your email, my friend. I'll be reaching out to you very soon. Hello, Ross. Ross is here as well. So good to have you, Ross. Yahoo. Awesome. This is going to be a fun show tonight. Tonight we got a very fun Bad Batch episode to talk about. It is going to be top 5 moments from the Bad Batch episode Rampage. You see our official profile or promo picture for this week's CWK Live. Well, look at this. Clint, hello from Sweden. Wow, what an honor to have you here with us, Clint. That is amazing. Wow, I wonder what time it is there right now. Here it is 8 o'clock p.m. Central United States Standard Time. So I wonder what time it is there for you. Second round of them, and of course our top 5. So let's go ahead and jump into what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
So this week, a very, very fun collection that is out from Starbucks. This actually came out on May the 4th, but I didn't get a chance to show them off then everybody. Well, okay, it's 3 a.m. in Sweden. Wow, you must be very sleepy, or maybe you just have a different schedule. Whatever the case, I'm happy you're here with us, Clint. That's so cool. All right, let me go back to my main feed here. So let me show you this. First of all, Starbucks has a Been There series where wherever city you're in, well, if it's a bigger city, sometimes in smaller cities even, they have basically coffee mugs that showcase some art or some fun little things from that city or that state or that area of the United States. So Star Wars naturally did these. Last year, around this time period, Starbucks came out with the first round of them. Here's the first round of them. And I do have all of them. They're set up in display, so I don't want to get them out. But I did find a great image of them. So we've got Dagobah, Bespin, and Hoth. As you can see, they are nice, beautiful mugs. The interior of each one is quite different, matching the outside coloring. We've got Hoth has a little bit. You can't really see the Hoth one, but it does have a bluish gray on the inside. Bespin is that nice light pink or salmon, and Dagobah is a lighter green. And that was for the first round of them. Yeah, they were really nice. Daniel's profile picture is of Surgeon Daniel Holt from the 121st New York Volunteer Regiment, one of the soldiers he portrays as a living historian. Wow, how cool. That's really sharp. Matthew, happy and thankful Memorial Day to you as well. Amber is digging these mugs. Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice, Amber. Let me go ahead and show you what I have. Ben wants to take one of the Hoth ones. They're really hard to find now. You have to go to the secondary market. If you're lucky enough to find them out in the parks, that's great stuff. So Minta thinks they're really beautiful. They're really great. I need to get a picture of the new round. So the new round of them, we've got Tatooine, we've got Endor, and we've got Batuu, which of course is Galaxy's Edge. Blake says, doesn't have much more room for Star Wars Disney mugs, but I need to make some space for those. You do. Ross says, Dan, check your text. I put my mugs on display yesterday. All right, I will do that, Ross. Let's see. Oh, wow, that's cool. So Ross wants me to show you this, and I will because it's super cool. There is Ross's setup. Pretty slick. Nice. Let's take a look at these a lot more closely, shall we? So first I'll open up Tatooine. I mean, I've opened these up before, but I just realized earlier today that I hadn't showed these. So here's what the box looks like of the Been There series, right? They're very nice. You can see on the front, on the bottom, it says Tatooine. You got the iconography over here of everything, and then the rest is just black and gray, nothing exciting there. So you open them up. They're actually on here pretty tight. Here we go. Maybe. Boy, people who unbox all the time, God bless them. Trying to do it without ripping up the box. You know, that's important, friends. That is important. Okay, so on the inside here, they've got them all nice and bubble wrapped. See, I haven't even opened this one yet. So I guess I forgot to do that. I've been so busy doing other CWK things. All right, so it's nice and bubble wrapped. Right away you can see all the great things you got to do back. You've got Solo, the Escape Pod, Greedo, Mos Eisley, R2-D2. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Tusken Raiders, Tatooine and Luke discovering his lightsaber. Jawas, really nice. And the interior, again, they all match really, really well the outside of them. They're a great size mug. I'll show you a little bit of a comparison. So here is a regular size coffee mug. This is one from our TeePublic store. There's a sale actually right now, but here's a CWK Cafe mug you can get in our TeePublic store. And here is the Starbucks mug. So it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger, but really, really cool. You can put so much caffeine in here. It's true. It's true. All right, so I'm going to put the Tatooine one back, put the CWK Cafe one back here. Okay, so yeah, this is the Tatooine one. Really nice. I got to put it out on display. I got to find a spot for it for sure. Okay, so there is the first one. The second one I'm going to open up is going to be from Endor. The Endor mug itself. Okay. Oh, sure. Look at this. Pops right off. Really? Okay. Why couldn't that have been the first one I opened up, ladies and gentlemen? How many ounces are these? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Does it say anywhere on the box? Let's find out. Unless somebody knows. Ross, you know any idea what size these things actually are? Here is the one from Endor. Maybe on the bottom it will say. Let's take off the bubble wrap. Now, again, the box itself is pretty indiscernible from the rest of them besides the fact that it says Endor on the front. So here's what this one looks like. It's got the shield generator, of course, a number of Ewoks, a scout walker. You've got the Imperial shuttle there. Chewie taking over the ATST. Speeder bikes, the shield generator itself. There is, let's see, there's Luke. And there is Princess Leia meeting a Wicket. There's C-3PO, R2-D2, and then the Ewok village itself. Really a beautiful mug. Again, the green matches it. Let's see, on the bottom, I don't see official measurement here. Well, yeah, I do. 14 ounces. Yep, and Ross already said it. Cool. Yep, but they're really, again, beautiful mugs. I'm a sucker for Star Wars coffee mugs naturally, and then I find out there's a Starbucks one. Great. So, full disclosure, the last one, Matthew says holds a lot of tea in them. It really does. It certainly does. Blake says, I wish the Ewoks in that one had the huge eyes like the ones from the Ewok films. They look like they had a lot of coffee. They did. So that was not to scare you, the new ones. The last one I have is the Batuu one. Now, Batuu is the planet that Galaxy's Edge is. So when you're in Galaxy's Edge, is that what you're supposed to do? Now, I think I know why I didn't open the other two. I had forgotten, right? But I actually bought two of the Bad 2 ones. So one I drink regularly. It's in my regular rotation along with the Galaxy's Edge Bad 2 coffee mug that Mary sent me. Thank you again, Mary. So I've got these in my rotation. But I bought an extra Bad 2 one so that I could just have it on display. The other one is for drinking. But here you go. If you've ever been to Bad 2, you know what this means. You've got Rey, you've got Chewie, you've got the Falcon, you've got the iconography of Galaxy's Edge itself. This actually says Bad 2 and Orabesh. There's the Droid Depot. There's Vi Marati. Then you've got Doc Ondar. It says Bright Suns. There's DJ Rex, R2, and BB-8. There is Oga's Cantina. And then you've got a Lothcat, Kylo Ren, First Order, and the ATs. So it's great. And again, the interior, awesome. You can see why I love these. You can see why they are so popular. In fact, I looked on eBay, or I just typed in Galaxy's Edge Star Wars, or I typed in Star Wars, been there, Starbucks, coffee mugs. And then right away it just shows you secondary market stuff and that it's sold out everywhere. So if you're lucky enough to find any of these in the parks or somewhere for a reasonable price and you like coffee mugs as collectibles for Star Wars, I highly recommend them. They are really, really nice. All right, let's go ahead and jump into your top fives. Again, the top five is top 5 moments from Star Wars The Bad Batch episode Rampage. Amber says she's in love with Bad 2. Yeah, Bad 2 is great. Bad 2 is so much fun. Minta says more mugs means more coffee. That's right. I'm currently on this thing where I am trying to wean myself off of creamer and just drink black coffee. It's been a challenge, friends, but it's going to be worth it, I know, in the end. All right. Top 5 moments from Rampage. A really cool episode, 2 weeks in a row where we get some excellent episodes with a lot of interesting things going on. So let's go ahead and kick this off with number 5. Number 5 for me is when Hunter fights the Zygerian leader. These slavers are scum. They're of course they're scum. They're slavers. Anakin faces them. Not these particular ones necessarily, but Anakin faces Zygerians in the Clone Wars. Where he goes undercover with Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. It's, I think, season 3 or 4. I can't remember. But when Hunter finally fights their leader, who uses his light whip to try to suppress Hunter, and Hunter fights through the pain and achieves a pretty quick victory. I love that. I like seeing justice done. So that was cool. Mary's number 5. Wrecker working out with Gonki. That is a very fun one that Mason really liked as well. Number 5 for Jamie is Moochie. I think we're going to hear the name Moochie a lot, for sure. Amber, clearly she's the brains of the operation. That is referring to when Omega is revealed as that Sid says Omega is the brains of the operation. Pretty fun. Ross echoes what you were saying, Amber. Sid's looks like the kid is the brains of the operation. That's right, same one as Amber's. 5 for Blake, Omega getting her bow weapon at the end. Excited to see if that becomes a regular thing for her. So Mason pointed that out in the Star Wars card trader app. That is, they show a card of Omega getting the bow. So it might be. Number 5 for Ben. Omega's bravery once again proving what she can do as a part of the team and saving the group after being captured. Number 5 for Minta. Sid's debut. I never expected her to be a Trandoshan, and I loved her reaction to the clones. That was fun. Number 5 for Mason is Wrecker versus Omega. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrecker and Omega's high five. Yeah, that one's super fun at the end. Or, I guess not at the end, but what we've talked about earlier when they say, when Sid says that Omega is the brains of the operation and Wrecker and Omega high five, that was Mason's number 5. Number 5 for Daniel, taking down of the slavers. Yes, yep, that's a huge one. All right, very cool. Let's go ahead and jump into number 4. Number 4 for me is the Wrecker rock trick. So when Omega is sneaking into the Zygerian camp, she accidentally knocks over a rock, which causes a noise. Of course, a classic trope in any action, suspense, thriller. For Wrecker, when he sees that to try to keep Omega off their radar, he kind of slips his foot under this rock, this much bigger rock, and kicks it across the way, and it hits one of the the slavers. And I just thought it was a really cool choreographed piece of animation. It was clever, and I also liked seeing the slavers get hit with that rock because, again, they're not nice people. And just the cleverness and the almost passive aggressive way that Wrecker takes care of them, which was pretty great. I really like that. Number 4 for Minta, Omega finally getting her bow. Number 4 for Ross, Bib Fortuna showing up with 2 Gamorrean guards. Hello, original trilogy, right? I like that as well. That was a super cool moment. Other number 4s. Number 4 for Mason was Omega riding Moochie at the end of the episode. That was pretty cute, I've got to admit. Feel free to weigh in here on your number 4 choice as well. There's a lot of great ones to choose from on this episode. Amber says, I think that Bo will be here for the rest of the show. I think so as well. Brian says, the Gonk droid trying to hide. Yeah, that poor Gonk droid. I wonder if they're going to give it an actual name. Blake's number 4, Omega, pointing out Sid. It makes me wonder still if she's force sensitive or proving that she's highly intuitive. I don't know. It's a good question. Mary's number 4, introduction to Sid, seeing her office. All the items reminded me of Doc Ondar's. Her snarky remarks. Are you fresh out of the tube? You, dark and broody. Yeah, I like her remarks too. And when I heard the voice, I thought, is that real Perlman? Of course, it's from Cheers. But I wasn't 100% sure. And then after she talked a few times, I thought, great. So it's perfect that she would be Sid. Because they both kind of fun, snarky, sarcastic demeanor. Number 4 for Daniel. Appearance of Bib Fortuna on the HoloNet, then in person. Really need to see things woven in there. And again, voiced by Matthew Wood, who also plays Bib Fortuna in The Mandalorian and The Phantom Menace. Number 4 for Ben. Wrecker's headache. They pretty much confirmed for the 3rd straight episode something's wrong with his head and inhibitor chip. Please say it ain't so. Not my favorite. I mean, they certainly are leading us down that path. And the longer the build-up, the worse it's going to be. I fear. So I don't know. Definitely not going to be pleasant. I believe I mentioned number 4 for Mason, which was Omega Ride and Moochie, which is pretty fun. And mine, of course, was the Wrecker Rock trick. All right, let's go ahead and jump into number 3. Number 3 of our top 5 favorite moments from Rampage. Number 3 for me is the reveal of the Rancor. It wasn't until towards the end of the episode that we even knew that there was a Rancor in there at all. I mean, it took even longer to find out that Moochie was the Rancor. But seeing that there was a Rancor and it was a baby, but it was still ferocious, that was awesome. That was very exciting, and I like when there are throwbacks to other parts of Star Wars through the mythology of Star Wars, but it's not like, I don't know, like they're trying too hard to match together. I didn't feel like that at all. I just thought it was a nice, natural, organic bit of storytelling, and I love that it was a Rancor. It was just a lot of fun. All right. Minta's number 3. Bib Fortuna, his animated debut was surprising and beautifully designed. It was, in the voice work and everything was just so cool. Ross, IG unit head dispensers, drink dispensers in Sid's Cantina. I know that's just totally the thing. Isn't that great? Luis, hello, Luis. He says, hi, Dan. By the way, the Stormtrooper's beer package with glass is great. And something else, you look a lot like Hugh Jackman. Yours family. Greetings. So that's hilarious. I will take that, dude. I will take that. Thank you so much. Amber's number 4 is Wrecker's headache. I know they're just leading towards something pretty scary, I'd say. Number 3 for Mary, Wrecker wearing down Moochie, but he's still complaining of a headache. Worrisome, right? Number 3 for Amber is Wrecker versus Moochie. Number 3 for Blake, seeing the young Rancor after seeing many adult ones in films and games. It was neat to see a young one in action. Number 3 for Daniel, Moochie the Rancor. More weaving here. Wrecker's going up against him was great. Yes, it was great. Number 3 for Ben, also. Wrecker and Moochie fighting tired. That made me laugh really hard. That's, again, like that whole social hierarchy thing that Rancors have. I actually knew about because of my research for the Star Wars book and learning about Rancors and having to write about them in the Star Wars book. But it was cool to see it played out like that and officially told on something that we're watching as opposed to what we're reading. So cool. Number 3 for Ben, Wrecker and Moochie fighting tired. Oh, we already said that one. My apologies. Brian, the cool little detail is Echo putting on his helmet. Had a cutout for his tech on the back and cinched down. Yeah, isn't that cool? I'm noticing that too, and I'm sure, Brian, that you are especially so because you are a member of the 501st and you know how the armor works. So cool. Good choice. Number 3 for Mason is Wrecker lifting the droid. It was like he was doing squats or some sort of workout with the gonk droid, and Mason had that for his number 3. It is pretty funny, I gotta say. Okay. Number 2 on our favorites from the Rampage. Number 2 for me is That's a Good Rancor. I love that. It just when Omega is writing Muchi towards the end of the episode, and he says, "Oh, that's a good Rancor." I just thought it was so charming, just so fun. Josh is here. Hello, Josh. He says, "I have toyed with a Rancor." Ha ha ha. Waka waka. Good to have you on the show, Josh, as always. Minta says, number 2, Rancor reveal. Muchi was both terrifying and adorable all at the same time. I agree with that. Ross, much Muchi doing anything, but especially purring once Bib Fortuna pets it after the rescue. I like that. Daniel says he noticed that one too. Love it. I love it. Number 2 for Mason is when Omega is looking through her binoculars and she thinks that the Faline is Muchi, and she says, "Oh, poor Muchi. She looks scared." He just liked the sound of Omega's really cool accent when she said, "Poor Muchi. She looks scared." So that was Mason's number 2. Number 2 for Mary is Omega is the brains of the operation. Also Wrecker and Omega high-fiving. Nice. Good catch. How funny. Number 2 for Amber, seeing Bib Fortuna in animation. Awesome. Like I believe Meat had mentioned that one earlier. Daniel's number 2, Omega getting her own comm. Oh, man, that was a good one. I should have put that one down. I like that too. In fact, that she was playing with it like it was a toy. That was fun. That's the first time that's been brought up. So good call, Daniel. Number 2 for Mason. I already read that one. Number 2 for Blake. The final punch out between Wrecker and the Rancor, pretty funny moment. The humor in the show, I feel, doesn't get enough of a spotlight. You're right. And it's fun and it's subtle. When it's there, it's always very welcome. Number 2, Ben's. All already been said, but Omega being the brains of the group and Wrecker high-fiving her, I had to rewind and watch it again. So cute and just sort of a quick little thing that's unexpected. I like that one too. In fact, drum roll please, I liked it so much that it's my number 1, Omega and the Wrecker high five. It's the character moments. This isn't a big reveal or a big fight sequence or something with a lightsaber or the Force or anything else. It's just a fun character moment. Star Wars is at its best when we've got good character stuff going on. And that's why I made that one my number 1. By the way, while you're writing your number 1s, did a few changes back here. The box that you see Princess Leia's Legacy lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge on top of is the one that it came with. And then I've got some other little fun things around here too. See if you notice any of it while you are perusing the place. Okay. I don't think you could usually see that far over. So I guess you're seeing more of The Office. Cool. That's good. All right. Number 1 for Minta, Wrecker versus Muchi. This is humorous and fun to watch. Absolutely. Number 1 for Ross. Sid welcoming Hunter to the reality of their situation. The Bad Batch keeps going deeper, getting in deeper, and we're really going to get a front row seat to this burgeoning underworld. It's true. It's true. I feel like we finally got a direction, a MacGuffin for the show. We'll see. We'll see what happens next episode, but I feel pretty good about where we are and where we're at. Mason's number 1 is Omega getting her bow. Getting her light bow, whatever they're going to call it, but that was Mason's number 1. Mary, number 1, Bib Fortuna showing up, realizing who Muchi belongs to, and wondering what her relationship is to the Rancor Luke kills. Yeah, a lot of people sort of jumped in and like, oh, that's got to be the one from Return of the Jedi. Maybe, but they haven't said either way, so I'm just going to wait and see on that. But it would be fun, but either way, it's hard to say. James just got here. Sorry, missed top 5. No problem, man. You can always type them in the comments, whether here or on the replay on Instagram, on our Coffee with Kenobi Instagram page, or on our YouTube channel. Blake, this will sound stupid, but just being in another scummy cantina, I have so many gaming memories from Star Wars Galaxies and cantinas, they always get me. That's not stupid. I think that's fun. Even seeing the Hammerhead type figure in there too, fighting was fun. Number 1 for Ben, the reveal of Muchi. You thought you liked a baby Grogu? How about a baby Muchi? I love Filoni's creativity. Yeah, I wonder who came up with that one. That is a fun one. Number 1 for Daniel. Omega discovering Sid and the whole reveal of her being a Jedi informant. that was cool. That was a fun little twist there. Josh said it is nice to see the Bad Batch getting better at being dads other than taking a child to a bar. Yes, that's true. That is true. Mason told me tonight before the show, and he's sharing it with you all now, Omega is his favorite, not Wrecker. So he always said Wrecker was his favorite. Now Omega is his favorite, which I think is really, really cool. She is pretty fun. Sid's den, where Sid lives, or no, where Sid like has her little office, including the little communication device projector in the middle, whatever that's called, was pretty cool. Wikipedia says Luke's Rancor is named Patissa. That was his name in one of the Aftermath books. That's right. But Patissa is also a Huttese nickname for like a term of endearment, like honey or sweetie or something like that. I don't know. But I thought that too, Mary. So I don't know. My initial thought is that wouldn't be the Rancor from there, but who knows? Because it was little, and I know how quickly that they age or whatever. I guess that we'll find that out after the shows air on Stars.com. They always have a couple of articles about the episode, and that's usually where I check to see if there's any little nuggets, or sometimes on Twitter. Sometimes you'll see some information from someone who works for Lucasfilm where they might say something, but for something like that, they probably won't reveal or announce anything because they want to, keep the mystery going. For me, Star Wars is always the best when I have more questions than I do answers, and other people feel differently, and that's totally fine naturally. But that's just kind of where I'm at with this. All right, very good. I already mentioned Mason's number one with the bow. Anybody else have anything they want to add? If not, we're just going to go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, so this is your opportunity to ask me any questions about Star Wars, podcasting, all that kind of fun stuff. Ben's gut is that there are different Rancors, either one of many that Jabba has, or Muchi is Patissa's mom. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. James, that couldn't have been the Rancor. The guy with no shirt would have been there if it was him. If it was the guy from Return of the Jedi. I wondered that one too. Amber says she just learned that Rancors are from Dathomir. Yeah, pretty cool. They're scattered throughout the galaxy, but that is pretty cool. I know. Again, check out the Star Wars book. Obviously, in my unbiased plug, that the book I co-wrote with Pablo Hidalgo and Cole Horton, I talk about Rancors in the creatures section. There's a couple of interesting little things there, for sure. So, any questions for me about Star Wars or what is going on? Would you want a pet Rancor or a pet Acklay? Gosh, well, if it's a pet Rancor and you've got that social hierarchy thing, look, whether I've been working out, for a day or a week or for my entire life, I'm not going to be able to out wrestle a Rancor. Wrecker had a problem on his own. Of course, he still made it happen. I outlasted him, but I would go with neither, James. What about you? Blake says, do you think we'll get the Kenobi show first or Andor? Both are filming now. I always got the sense that Andor was farther along. That's just because of how it was announced and discussed at the Disney investors meeting. So I don't know. That's a good question. I just kind of get the sense that Kenobi will be later, but I don't know that at all. No, they haven't said anything either way. And of course, as you know, I don't traffic in the whole rumor thingy, so I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. Which one do I hope? I'm really excited to see Kenobi, but I don't know. It'd be fun to see. I like that they're doing things kind of in the same era of Star Wars. I like the whole Empire era of Star Wars better than the First Order, probably. Or not probably, definitely. James would rather go with an Acklay, probably less dangerous. Maybe. I mean, they're smaller. Ross says, how excited are you for Loki? I'm really excited, but I feel like I did before the other two Marvel cinematic shows on Disney+, both The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as WandaVision. Excited for more Marvel, but uncertain as to what I think it might actually be. So I'm cautiously optimistic. What about you, Ross? Ben, more broadly, which creature would you take as a pet, and what would you name your Loth cat? Well, Mace would probably name the Loth cat, but maybe Harrison would be a fun Loth cat name. That would be cool. I would love to have. I think it'd be fun to have a Tauntaun though, because when it snows here, I could ride it up to my in-laws' house, and that would be a lot of fun. What brand of coffee does CWK brew at home? So of course our sponsor is One Nation Coffee, so I have a lot of One Nation Coffee naturally, and it's great. I also have stuff from Trader Joe's, which is a really cool supermarket in the Chicagoland area and other cities. I've got a breakfast blend. What about you, Blake? What kind of coffee do you enjoy? Amber's Gonky or the droid with the arms? Forgot the name. The droid with the arms. What was the name of the droid with the arms? Clink. Clink was the name of the droid with the arms. Brian says the Rancor would eat more, so there's a cost factor. That's for sure. That is a good point. That is a very good point. I feel like there's something else I was going to share with all of you. Well, I do know that this week we had so much fun with our CWK pour-over. We had Smooth Rivera. His actual name is Chris Rivera, but he goes by the nickname Smooth. Hear him tell that story there. It's actually really fun and funny. He's a great guy. It was awesome to have him on the show. And the CWK Alliance is where you can go to our Patreon page and join the CWK Alliance. You can, for as little as $1, you can be part of this particular part of the community. And we try to give back to you as well with exclusive weekly podcasts, both video and audio podcasts. You can have access to an exclusive monthly conference call with me on Zoom and a lot of other fun things as well. Blake gets whatever the wife buys. Okay, fair enough. Mason says, well, we got a loth cat. We call it Javier, or Hobby, maybe, for hobby bias. James, thoughts on Order 66. Did you feel bad for the Jedi or the clones more? Wow, what a great question. Do I feel worse for the Jedi or the clones? Well, I think it's hard to say either way, James. I really like that question. Because the clones couldn't help it, and I'm sure that was terrible for them. But also, the Jedi died, so I'd probably say worse for the Jedi because some of the clones were able to get out of it. But there's just no winning either way. It really is. Ross says he loves Tom Hiddleston, so just looking forward to him continuing to do excellent work. I certainly agree with that. Minta says Loki versus Kenobi, who would win? Another great question. Well, Loki has magic, but Obi-Wan obviously has the Force. Obi-Wan would out-trick Loki, but it wouldn't be easy, I don't think. Amber wants to know how fast Rancors live. I don't know. I don't know if Lucasfilm has ever said. That's a good question. You need to try Green Mountain or VT Coffee Company coffee. I will. I absolutely will. I always am up for good coffee recommendations. Fun fact, I didn't always love coffee. In fact, I pretty much avoided it. I openly bragged that I was never going to get any vices, and then I tried mochas, and then eventually I just went to coffee, and my wife was a good positive influence on me falling in love with coffee, and I'm glad, very glad that she did. All right, well, that is going to do it for this week's show. I'll get to the volume here. Facebook Live, we had fun chatting about the top 5 favorite moments from Rampage, the 5th episode of the Clone Wars. I love talking Star Wars with each and every one of you, and I can, of course, do it here every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch the replay on Instagram or YouTube or all over our Facebook page, www.coffeewithkenobi.com/live or www.facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi. You can also hear the audio version of this on their podcast feed, and naturally, the podcast that started all of this, which is on our over 400 episodes, Coffee with Kenobi, every Thursday night. Did you know they sell your book in leather? I did. In fact, the publisher sent that to me, and I was very happy about it. In fact, I got it right here. Yeah, it's cool. It's got a kind of a fancier gold gold binding to it. Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. So I was very happy to get a copy of that from them. That was very kind of them. Hey, Ross, have a great week. Mary, you as well. Blake says, CWK is the best Star Wars community online. Thanks to all you awesome people. May the Force be with you all. Hey, thank you, Blake, and thank you, everybody, for joining us every single week. If you listen to Coffee with Kenobi on our podcast, then you know that this week, the show that's already out, was where we looked at, of course, Cornered. And then next week, the one I'm going to record here in a couple of nights, is going to be where we talk about this episode that we're just talking about here, but in much more detail. Great to see you, Ben. Namaste to you, Daniel. Thank you, Amber. It's a fun book. I was happy to be a part of it. So many more fun things to come. Again, we'll see you next Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for Facebook Live. Get your top 5 ready for episode 6 of The Bad Batch. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. And remember, this is the podcast you're looking for. See you next time, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here.